Mia. Faye. You once worked alongside her. And that was when you were a defense attorney. Wait a second here. Mr. Gato is a defense attorney? With your honor's piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Gato. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando. That name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. All this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia faced first time in court. The tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked.
It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself.
Mia, you cannot cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her. The way she put all her faith in her clients. That pure sweetheart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Me and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. And then one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. Oh, I just remembered. 6 years ago, right here in this courthouse, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee. Some newspapers at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all. No official reports have actually ever called it a murder. I was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. So he wasn't officially murdered. He was actually a coma. I guess that makes more sense now. My body shut down, and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. And that woman's poison did the real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight, and all my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. Huh. I guess that explains why your hair is white now. Because of that as well.
That's terrible.
Apparently it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poison brew. And then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years? And you wake up from coffee, you say? And that's very, very sad. And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Faye was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered, and the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed? That would be Dahlia Hawthorne, Your Honor. And the woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee. Dahlia Hawthorne. Ha! Good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up.
That's so sad.
Oh. For someone like me. For someone who had slipped away their best days. There were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons that I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live? Well, I can definitely say that one of them would be Maya Fey. I mean, after all, Maya was very precious to me, so maybe Gato had that duty of protecting Maya since, well, Mia died a long time ago. The first was you, Wright. Eh? Me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey never would have died. Much less the way she did. Still, why are you blaming Nick, out of all people? I mean, don't you think you're being a little extreme with this? You're the only one who was there to protect her. But you let her die. It was all your fault. It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of man you really were. So that's why you became a prosecutor? My other reason for living. She goes by the name of Maya Fey.
Huh? You mean me?
Yeah, I figured. You were the only way I could make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Korean village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. I see. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit with Morgan at the detention center. I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. And I guess that, yet again, Gato is blaming Nick for not protecting Maya enough, as well. If Rose had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Accomplices? Yeah, I guess it checks out. I guess so. One of the accomplices was Iris, wasn't it? She was the one that was cold at the time of the incident. Iris of Hazakura Temple and Misty Faye. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall on my backup plan, in case we couldn't control per Faye.
But how did he contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years.
Officially, yes.
What? What do you mean, officially?
You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government. The government? I didn't mention it. Kini did say something to that effect. She said that Master Aquarian had great authority. Even without her official position, Mr. Faye still wielded great influence. The police had been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Huh. I guess so. So the police knew her location all this time. Well, that's sad. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor.
So my mother was cooperating with you?
Don't ever forget. No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you.
She was always...
And that's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. I guess so. I guess now we know why she came to the Hazakura temple, like, even a week before that. She came there for a plan as well. To help Gado and Iris. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff. The staff? Her staff? The one with the sword in it? Today the plan was to be carried out right soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized at then just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Fay, if necessary. Oh, I guess so. I guess that's the reason why she even had a staff with a sword in it. I thought that it was for potential attackers of Misty Fay. She was carrying it with her to protect herself from potential enemies of the Fay clan, but I guess it was to protect Maya in the end. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price.
Mother.
And that night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean Pearls, don't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hofer.
Oh, Pearl? What are you going to do tonight? Well, if you'd like, you can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together.
We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan, but she never showed up.
She was ready to follow me to the inner temple.
Oh. Now I get it. Now I think I'm starting to understand why now I'm starting to understand why Misty Fay, out of all people, channeled Dahlia at that point. So that Pearls couldn't channel Dahlia at that point. That night. Huh. I guess so. But I guess that plan didn't work out either, and well, lo and behold, Maya and Dahlia, channeled by Misty Fay, were in the garden, and Maya was about to die because of that. And that was the thing we were most afraid of. And that's why Misty Fay had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body. What? What do you mean? If you channel the spirit first, then Pearls wouldn't be able to do it herself. As Master of the Kuren, Misty Fay's power was supreme. So that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearls Fay wouldn't be able to. What? Is this true? My role of the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Fay. That's why I hid myself at the inner temple. Just in case you needed to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne. Cuddle. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, right? Huh? Well, you did say that you were at the inner temple. You told us your plan, so There's no doubt about it. You are a great defense attorney. But you're going to have to do the rest yourself. The background leading up to this incident have been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only two possible suspects right now. My FA, and sad to say, you, Mr. Gato. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Gato did say that he had his plan and he was at the inner temple, but we still have to give like some more proof that he was the one that killed Mr. Fei. Although it's really sad though. I mean, what choice did Gato have at that point, since he was trying to protect Maya, and Misty Fei was going to... and Misty Fei channeled Dahlia and was going to murder Maya. He had no choice but to act. Oh. If you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can finish this on your own.
No, Nick. Please don't.
Maya.
I heard the whole thing from my sister in the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Gato. I cannot do it. I cannot testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia. And me too.
Maya, I know that.
Heck.
But even so, it doesn't absolve him of his crime. Even if it may seem justifiable. Please, ma'am, testify. Miss Fei, your testimony, please. And this is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips.
I understand. I sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick.
Alright, young lady. Tell us about the moment before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? Alrighty then. Let's see. The time of the murder.
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them.
Okay, so that's Gato.
I thought I'd ask for help, but just then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her.
No?
Suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed, and I lost consciousness.
These red lights. I thought you said you don't remember seeing them. Yeah, well, I guess now she's testifying the actual truth, Your Honor. But still, she said that those red lights disappeared? And she heard a scream as well. Huh. Well, I guess...
Sorry.
I mean, we do also have to take into account that we have the dagger as well. We have the dagger and the staff. Someone used the staff and someone else used the dagger. First, Dahlia was stabbed with one weapon, and then the other person was probably attacked with the other weapon as well. I think.
I thought I saw them, but then they disappeared all of a sudden.
Huh. Things break, right? Even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Mr. Fei? He looks like he still cannot prove it. I telling the truth this time. I know it. The rest is up to me. Well done, Miss Wright. Proceed with your final cross-examination of the witness. Alrighty then. Well, Nick believes in Maya that she's telling the truth, so we're definitely gonna have to use one of these statements to prove that it was Gato that killed Misty. But what?
Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights. 3 of them.
Lights shining in the dark? I don't think you can make a mistake about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw them, but I cannot say for certain. And I cannot tell you for sure they were from Mr. Gato's mask either.
I mean, where else would you see like 3 red lights in the dark at that point? I don't get a feeling she's covering for him anymore, but... Let's press harder. But just after that, you turn towards the lights and call for help. Is that because you thought the lights were coming from Mr. Gato's mask?
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe that's what I was thinking at the time. But I can't remember. After all, there was a person I couldn't identify in front of me.
Last life was in terrible danger at the time. There's no way she can remember the details of the scene perfectly. Alright then, let's go on with the testimony. What did you do when you saw the red lights? Okay, I don't think that's gonna help us, like, whatsoever. That blood. Was it Dahlia Hawthorne's blood?
I think so, probably. Just at the moment, I heard a soft scream that seemed to be close by. It was a woman's voice.
So that was when the killer stabbed the victim from behind with a murder weapon. Is that right? Without a doubt. Maya was in the middle of a really dangerous situation. Actually, thinking back on what I said before about the dagger and the staff, the reason why I'm talking about how one weapon was used by another and the other was used by the other was because, well, we do know that the dagger had the blood on it, and judging by the tests, it seems that it wasn't the victim's blood. In which case, that will mean that that blood must have come from the killer. Therefore, we can make the assumption that at that point, Dahlia actually had the dagger on her, and more than likely attacked our killer, a.k.a. Gato, with it, and stabbed him, or something. Which, I guess something that was said before was actually true. It wasn't the staff that was used at that point, but instead it was the dagger. But if that's the case, if Dahlia was the one that had the dagger, then I guess that would mean that Gato had the staff and stabbed Misty Faye. Which, I guess it makes sense now that I'm thinking about it. The killer was behind Dahlia, and somebody stabbed through Dahlia, which would splatter blood in front of Maya. Like, if the sword stabbed all the way through Dahlia, which makes sense. So, Anyway, the victim was stabbed by the murder weapon. What happened after that?
She wasn't dead though, and she struck back at the enemy behind her.
Struck back? How do you know that?
Well, you're right. I didn't see it exactly, but I could tell by the sound of their breathing and movement. And also, the smell of blood.
You have witnessed more horror than any young lady should have ever in one life. Amen to that, Judge. Amen. So then, what did you do at that point?
I couldn't move. I could just barely make out their shadows moving in the dark, but I had no idea what to do.
You still see the red lights you mentioned earlier.
Yes, I think so. But suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area was dark.
The red lights went out, you say?
Yes, Suddenly, I couldn't see them at all.
Huh. I wonder... What could it mean? The red lights were coming from Garo's mask, and they went out right in the middle of a fight.
Maybe the mask was damaged.
Nah, that cannot be it. Maybe it was removed from the attack. Because if the mask was damaged, then we would have seen the damage on the mask. I mean, unless Garo had like an extra spare mask or something. Other than that, maybe it was knocked off. Yeah, I'm thinking the same way as Nick over here. It could have been knocked off, because if it was damaged, then we would see the damage when we first met Garo at the inner temple. Or maybe the batteries ran out. Right. Or maybe those little red pinhead-looking lights just stopped working. What could have really happened then? Okay.
Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream.
Maybe the batteries did run out, but in which case, Garo needed to use like extra batteries. Like maybe there were some extra batteries at the inner temple. I mean, they use Wi-Fi, so why not? What do you mean by just at that moment? Do you mean when the moment when the red lights went out? And does that mask use like AAA batteries? AA batteries? Do you recharge it? Like, do you recharge it like a phone?
Yeah, that's right.
The scream that you heard then, was it Dahlia Hall form?
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure. It was a man's voice.
What? So then, that scream came from the killer? That's gotta be it.
I think Dahlia Halford must have taken the blade and attacked the killer with it.
And then the killer let out a scream of pain, huh? I see. Wait a minute. The dagger had blood on it. Dahlia used it against Gado. The lights went out, so the mask definitely must have been knocked off. Does that mean that... Oh. Could it be that Gado is hiding it? Even as we speak? Huh. That could be something that we can use against him. Also, that would be irrefutable evidence.
After that, the killer stole the blade back and delivered the final blow. I guess.
Well, Miss Wright, it seems to make sense to me. Sounds like a reasonable deduction, but I still kind of wonder. So you're saying that Dahlia used the sword from the staff? Yeah, I'd say there is a contradiction there. I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. That makes sense. After all, my deductions are almost certainly never correct. Oh, well, come on, Judge. That's not something... you shouldn't say that about yourself. Remember the testimony she just gave, before the killer let out a scream. Miles said that she already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim.
Is that right?
Yeah, that would be it. She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her sword. In her body. Stuck in her sword. Well, I mean, unless Dahlia decided to dogpile Garo and stab him with the sword that was already plunged inside her. That would be a tactic of some sorts. use your own sword, use your enemy's sword against them. The weapon that caused the killer to let out a scream must have been something other than the staff. If you're so sure about that, then don't keep us waiting any longer, Trite. There's only one thing that I can think of that could have been used as the weapon here. If Dahlia Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back by the staff, what could she have used to strike back at a killer? That would definitely have to be the dagger. After all, this dagger over here doesn't match the victim's, so it clearly wasn't Misty's. However, it still has blood. And, well, we do know that our attacker has been, well, has been struck in the middle of the fight. So, there you have it. Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene, stuck into a pine tree. Yes, the detective found that this morning and brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this. And she managed to wound him as well. Objection! Just because he let out a scream doesn't mean that he was wounded. Eh? For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim. Objection! I've forgotten that the blood has already been tested. Since we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. And the fact that the mask was knocked off, and about the red lights that just disappeared, it kind of tells us that the killer got attacked at that point. And when you get attacked, there would suddenly be a scream from it. The killer must have a wound somewhere on his body. So you're saying the blood on this dagger belongs to the killer? Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood will prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Gato, it will prove that it's your blood. Okay, well, never mind. I was thinking of some idea, but I mean, if we are to test the blood over there, then that would solve this as well. Nice theory, Trite. Order! Order in the court! Is this the end? Have I done it? Then he won't be able to change the result of a scientific test. Huh. Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's just say that it turned out that I was the killer. Eh? Do you really think I would be stupid enough to leave evidence like that? What? Just think for a second. This dagger was found in this morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one who brought this dagger here to the courtroom. I guess that's true. If you were the killer, you definitely would have hid the dagger. Otherwise, I mean, if you did that, then we would never have known about the existence of a dagger in the first place, and well, that would have been the case. But I don't know. I mean, given the fact that it's you, Gato, I start to suspect something else over here, but I'm not quite sure. Yes. What does that prove? Well, if I really were the killer, I could have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. Oh! Oh, there's that possibility too. That's... It can't be! In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, right? That blood. It doesn't belong to me. Not a chance! What? In any event, it needs to be established that the killer was wounded. Alright, then with us, continue your test.
Wait a minute!
What's the problem?
I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation.
What? Maya is the one that is doing the contradicting? Wait, Maya?
This dagger, you said that it wounded the killer.
That's right.
But, if Mr. Gato had really been cut with the dagger, his clothes should be bloody or have a rip in them, right?
Maya? Maybe he just changed his clothes? I mean, that would solve the contradiction pretty easily. No, that would imply that he had spare clothes with him at the inner temple. Which, I mean, that definitely could be possible. I mean, he had planned this. Maybe he was thinking ahead that he would get attacked, and thus he would change his clothes? In which case, that would be pretty hard to solve.
What are you talking about? It's not that simple at all. Remember back to the day of the murder. The one that was on the inner temple side got trapped there.
Oh, that's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple.
Mr. Gato was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes. What?
Order in the court. What do we... Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him. But no one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge. Oh, that's right. I mean, what I said before about him bringing his clothes with him would imply that he already knew that he would be trapped at the inner temple in the first place. So, yeah. If we are to think about the bridge and all that, it wouldn't really make sense for Gato to take clothes with him. He could have just done what he had done and then just go home. Like lickety split. He wouldn't need to change his clothes there, so... Yeah, I guess that's one explanation. Why would anyone bother to change of clothes? Did the judge take smart pills during this last recess? I mean, come on. He has good thoughts here and there. He's not that much of a stupid person. Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before they committed murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on them. Nah, yeah.
Objection!
That's impossible, Wright. You know how cold it gets there late at night. I mean, still, you're a man of high build yourself. Maybe you had to take the shot, even if you're freezing to death at that point. Yeah. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'll be frozen solid.
God!
So that's all you got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Nah, not yet. Not yet. I was still thinking of that one thing that I thought of before. It doesn't necessarily have to be that the clothes were ripped at that point. It could be... Ugh. Alright, now. Give me a favor here. Give me a favor here. Should already closed the book on this case already. Give me a favor here. Yeah, come on, Nick. Think about this. It's actually pretty easy. I mean, we do know something about the red lights. They disappeared at that point. And you were thinking of the idea that maybe the mask got knocked off. So, what does that tell you, Nick? Come on, you can do it. So come on, Wright. Can you do it or not? How about it, Mr. Wright? You've accused Mr. Gato of being the killer. But can you prove it? Have you got even one piece of evidence? And the question is whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only choice I have. Yeah, there you go, Nick. I was taught that it's one of the rules of being a lawyer. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition, just as you wanted! That's good. A fighter till the bitter end, right? Since there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point, why don't we go for the unlimited penalty? Oh! Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Gato? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need. Give me a break. You've got nothing, Trite! So what do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I gotta think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. Alright then, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you've got. There's one thing I've demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded. That was proven by the blood on the bagger. But we decided it was impossible for him to have hidden such a wound. He had been cut by a dagger. There should have been a bloodstain on his clothing. And there's one place. One place the killer could have hidden his wound. What did you say?
Hidden? What?
This is it. My last stand. I need to think about this from a different angle. I don't need to think about why there were no bloodstains on his clothing. I need to show how he hid the wound. It's the end of the line. The final stop, Trite. Let's hear what you've got. Where is this location where you say the killer hid his wound? Okay. Okay, evidence. I know where it is. I know where it is, but do I need to present some evidence here? Or we could say that it is on him as we speak. Like, we could show where the location of the wound is. And it's not even in the clothing. It is behind the mask. Alright, I don't think I need to present like any evidence over here. I think that we're gonna have to present Gato's profile and tell where the wound is. That or... No, I think this is it. Come on, Nick. I know you can do it. Show him who we truly are. Ha! I don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't need to know. What I do know is that you'll never be half the lawyer she was. Isn't that right, Trite? Oh! What was that just now? Mia? It cannot be. You're living on. For him! Even as we speak, you're still hiding the wound. It's beneath your mask! During the fight, the red lights given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Gato, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound in there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved. Just now, I saw her spirit in you. Wow. That was freaking epic. That deserves one fall to the ground. Actually, no. I don't think that deserves one fall to the ground. It deserves 2 falls to the ground. It was that epic. Oh. I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought.
Mr. Gato.
But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. And the truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me. You? Yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to avert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on. So I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore. So I quit. But you saved Maya. Yeah, that was my plan. Until just now, anyway.
Yeah? But what do you mean?
Are you listening, Maya? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person I should have gone and talked to right away.
Who would that be? Are you talking about Nick?
But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother. But I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. I see. So you were hiding. So you were running away from the harshness of the truth. You were blaming Nick instead of yourself because of it. You wanted someone to blame but yourself, but I guess so. Do you know why? The real reason.
No. Why?
I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all.
Yeah?
I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. Nah, you know what, Gato? I think that you're bullshitting us right here. Everything that you said before was true, and now you're just hiding yourself once more. You were trying to protect Maya. That's why I let you walk right into a situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Maya. Was it really for my sake? Even I'm not really sure. What do you mean by that? That night, in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing there in front of me. It could have been Misty Fate, or even that little girl. But I still picked up the blade. It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what was going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Fey? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could it have been simply the desire for revenge? And no, I don't know anything anymore. I did learn something today, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion. Fantasy. Oh. And the stupid fantasy of defeating me in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from this death. Instead, you picked up where she left off. As a true defender of the people. In that one moment, I understood everything. Mr. Gato. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando.
Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I knew you were trying to save me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that as well. Maybe you don't know it, but we are honestly gonna go with that option, Gato. But, thanks. Your wound, it's bleeding. Did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. And these must be my tears. Tears? Ever since I woke up from my coma. I think I've been waiting for this very moment.
Mr. Armando.
You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. And this time, it really is over, isn't it? Indeed. I guess with this we're ending the trial. And the case is solved, but with a bittersweet end, it seems. Defendant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body in the crime scene is a serious offense in itself.
I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway.
Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say?
There is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright.
Eh?
I want to apologize to you.
Apologize? To me? For what?
For the case 5 years ago, of course.
The case 5 years ago. I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover? Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me.
It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other.
Huh? What do you mean? I guess so. I guess we're going with that idea, huh? So it was you most of the time.
You and my sister. We only met twice.
Yeah? So I guess it's true. Dahlia and Iris did switch places at times. I guess so. We only met twice?
The first time met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time he met her was 8 months later. He met her again on the day she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed.
No way. It cannot be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were
For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister.
Huh? He wasn't Dahlia.
I hope one day you can forgive me. Feeny.
You mean...
That's right. I lied to you. For 8 months.
But why? Why would you do such a thing?
Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because the police investigation and their surveillance, she couldn't move about freely.
So that's why you...
My sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst.
prepared for the worst.
She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she was always ready to deal with you at a moment's notice.
She was ready to kill me, don't you?
She already had so much answer for. I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance.
And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place?
But I couldn't get you to give it back. I felt that something even as simple as that. 8 months passed, and I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened.
That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime, and she would confer with you.
I think she must have noticed
Noticed what?
my feelings for you.
No?
If I had found out she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life. Or mine.
Jesus. Iris.
After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings towards you, they changed.
I have something to say to you too.
Yes?
You really are the person I always thought you were. Yeah, I guess so. He always thought of Dahlia as that sweet innocent girl that he had fallen in love with. And, well, he couldn't be far from the truth. He was actually right. It's just that it wasn't actually Dahlia. It was actually you. Even after Dahlia Hoffman was found guilty, I still believed in you.
Thank you.
Oh. How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though. Right now. This one here is the greatest cup I've ever had. Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright? Well, it is all over. You've let out your heart here today, Garo, for like the first time in like ever since you woke up. Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule the murder of the victim, Liz Donham. At some point, I expect you will be tried for your role as an accomplice in this case.
I understand, Your Honor.
Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant.
Not guilty!
Congratulations, Iris. Court is now adjourned. Ah, 4:51 p.m. It surely did take long, just as I thought. No surprise there. So I guess it's all over. The way everything ended was justice really served. The man who risked his life to save mine is being sent to prison by my own hand. Of course justice was served. Mia! Hey there, Mia. I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. Yeah, but still, it doesn't... The sadness of it all doesn't go away, sadly. But I couldn't save Armando. The man who cared so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. I guess so. I guess you mean that way, huh? You mean, with that verdict? I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You're as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you can learn from me. Yeah. I do have to say though, I'd like to thank you, Mia, for all these years of helping Nick. But today he proved once again that he can truly be a great defense attorney, that's for sure. Yeah. You've accomplished something I wasn't able to. I owe you a great deal. Thank you. Yeah. I shall meet again, someday, Phoenix. I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. And along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? And I suppose today's case produced one possible answer.
Nick.
Hey there, Maya. Are you feeling better right now? Maya?
I guess it's just like my sis said.
Mia? What did she say?
That night, when I chatted Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end.
But...
Come on! Cut it out with that gloomy face. Can you see? Me, sis, and I share ours too. We owe you for everything you have done for us, Nick.
Maya... How? You can be so bright and cheaper after all that's happened. You're brutally attacked. You even saw your mother murdered. Yeah, well, I guess so. It is like I said many times before, Nick. Maya is stronger than you give her credit.
Bow!
Francisca. Hey there, Vanny. I was hoping that you would come here. Like at the end as well.
Still as softy as always, Phoenix Wright.
Excellent word, right.
And edgy too. Eh? Mr. Edgeworth? When did he get back?
Oh, that's right. I guess no one filled her in on that. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me.
Helping you?
If these two hadn't been on the first day of the trial... The defense wouldn't have gone anywhere. The defense wouldn't have gone anywhere.
Wow. But where were you, Nick? I heard he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold, which forced him to sleep all day.
Yeah, he laid in bed shivering from his fever, with Aris's hood pulled over his head.
Oh. Ouch! Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. And you too. Francisca?
I don't suppose. There's room for me in this gurmag, is there?
Oh, Larry.
Yeah, Barry? What's with a longer than usual face? I realized something when I was reborn. I realized that Larry was never of any use to anyone. Not even once.
That's not true. Right, Nick?
Wait? You're asking me? Well, Nick, is it true? I got a place in this world, right? Yeah, well, of course. I knew it. world would be better off if I were gone for good. Come on, don't say that. Like, it's true, you have made your mistakes in the past, but you're still Larry. You helped us, in this case, in ways that you couldn't even imagine. As much as it may seem impossible for you to think of that. Oh no. Yeah, those portraits you painted, they were pretty good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? But me? Why are you making that face? Reggie? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly cannot say they lack resemblance. You really mean it? What about you, Franny? Did I draw you well too?
No! My beauty cannot possibly be captured by a mere crayon. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something.
So maybe you do it? Like you promised? You're going to model for my next picture book? Francis, we
Don't get carried away.
Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the only thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty damn good too, if you ask me. Huh? Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her around. Pearls? Where could she have gone? Maybe normally she would made the beeline for Maya.
Oh, I'll go look for her. Be right back. Hey, Purdy!
Right. You seem to be uncharacteristically puzzled. I suspect you're wondering how Maya can be so cheerful despite all that has happened. Yeah.
To be honest, I can't understand it either.
Francisca. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well. I think I understand how she feels. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears. And I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can.
What do you mean by now is exactly the time?
Maya wasn't the only one that was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone that was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya's trying her best not to cry. Oh. Oh, yeah, I guess that surely makes sense. I think I know who you're talking about. Someone who was hurt more deeply than Maya. I think I'm starting to understand too.
Now! Then tell me, Phoenix Wright. Who is my fate being strong for?
Well, the only person that I can think of at this point. That would be little Prosy.
Pro Faye.
Poor kid. After all, the reason that she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Fae clan. I'm sure she believed in every last word. Thought she was doing it for Maya, and that's why she was so happy. It shows how truly devoted she is to Maya. It's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. My Faye's mother was killed and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And I guess that's why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake. Until she can see her smile again. Oh. Hey! Hey! So this is where you all were! Oh, looks like we got quite a... What was that for, sir?
Sorry about that, Scruffy. My Viv just seems to have a mind of its own.
Oh, what's up, Detective Ganshu?
Hey there.
Oh, you know, this and that. Anyway, congrats on your win!
Thank you, Gumshoe.
Let's go tonight! Dinner's on me! I saw it just sort of kind of gunned down by teeny bit, but it's alright! I made reservations at the first-class rich restaurant tonight. Ganshu. Think about your future, goddammit! You don't have any money! Gather!
Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward.
The Gansho? You said first-class French restaurants. You don't mean... Très bien! Where else? Oh no! I knew it. We're doomed. Come on, let's go everyone! And keep Maggie waiting, pal. Hey, you crybaby! You're invited too! Oh, forget about me. Pearl and I will be at the loser shack eating potatoes. You know, Maya's taking an awfully long time to get back. She's still out looking for pearls. I mean, Oh! Maya, what's wrong?
Nick, what do I do? Birdie, I cannot find her anywhere.
Oh. I mean, for Pete's sake, we just talked to Mia in Pearl's body. Like, where did they go? Huh? I bet she just went back home. That's all.
I thought so too, so I called the village. But no one has heard from her. This has never happened before.
Well, of course she wouldn't be back home. Like, how much, how long did time pass since we talked to Mia in Pearl's body? It wasn't that long. She couldn't have just gone home that fast. As I feared, she has been badly hurt by this incident. She feels responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya.
But none of this was her fault. What should I do?
The Gansho. Yeah? What is it, Bo? Could you guys all go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I we'll join you guys once we find pearls. Alrighty then.
Nick!
Don't worry about us, the Gansho. We may be a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot of celebrating to do tonight, and I will miss it for the world. Yeah. Yeah,
Very well, Phoenix Wright. We'll go on ahead.
Don't keep us waiting, right? We won't.
But where should we look? Where could Penny have gone?
Well, if it's not the village, then she definitely must have gone to Hasakuра's temple. If you were after me. Let's go, Maya. There's only one place I can think of that pearls might have gone to.
Hasakura Temple.
For pearls, I bet this is a very important place. After all, it's where this whole incident started.
What's this? You're all back again so soon? Hey there, Sister Bikini. I thought we'd be eating mashed potatoes alone tonight. So she's here? Pretty's here? She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurry along and go see her? Okay. Pretty's not here.
And yet, that hanging scroll is now cleaned. Oh! Maya, the hanging scroll.
Eh. Someone cleaned it off.
I'm gonna take a guess and say that this was Pearly. It's gotta be pearls.
Eh! Mystic Maya! Pretty! Why didn't it just leave like that? Mystic Maya. Mystic Maya!
Hey there, Pearly. Don't make us worried like that, goddammit.
I swear that I would never trouble the two of you ever again. Because it's all my fault that Mystic Maya's mother.
And that's why you came here? Oh. Pearly, don't tell me that you're actually thinking of staying here, like, for the rest of your life. I mean, come on.
It's the least I can do. To pray for your happiness. You don't have to do that, Pearly. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Of course, I'm sad my mother is gone. But, how do I say it? I'm still happy. You don't have to lie to just to make me feel better. No, really. It's true. The only reason I'm still here at all is thanks to everyone who was there for me. my sis, my mother, Mr. Armando, Nick, and you. If you one of you weren't there, I'm sure I would still be alive right now. That's why I had to be strong. For all the people that were there for me when I needed them.
Oh.
That's all I can really do. Mystic Maya. I'm impressed. You truly are the daughter of Mystic Misty.
Hey.
It's the beginning. Your mother, Mystic Misty, was a strong woman indeed. I want to tell you what she said to me that night. After dishonoring the good name of Kurain, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true. She'll always be with me until the day I die. Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets.
She'll always be with me until the day I die, huh? And there's a rule or something all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die. I guess so. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is a piece of evidence that we haven't really used once in this. To find out who the killer is.
That's the Master's talisman.
And the thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off. Well, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, we used this in the Psychlocks. It wasn't the container that was important. Rather, it was the contents.
That's... a photo? Ah! Mother.
It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. But what makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? And that's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Oh! Oh! Jesus Christ. Even when the battle is over, and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Burroughs, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother too. I learned that from all of them. How adorable. Well, shall we get going? Everyone is waiting. This is a day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. Yeah. This is like the final day of a long, long journey. Of quite a lot of history that has been built up until this point. It was quite something, but I think we can put a lot of things in the past now. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today.
But I still can't. Oh, God, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime. Okay. Alright, I get to make a brand new start too. It's the beginning. I'll be back for more training. I promise.
Alright, I guess so. Maya is back to her chipper attitude in that sense too. She still wants to continue training for the Kurain channeling technique.
I know, and I won't get easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for free for when you come back. Alright, I'm going to have a great feast today, Perry. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. You keep missing Maya. I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight.
You know, there's one thing I don't get. And probably don't want to, but...
What is it, Nick?
Reservations for training is fine and all, but why for free? You know exactly, Nick. Deep down you know it will.
Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. Yeah? I'll be waiting for you. Speaking will take special care of you.
Eh? Eh?
It'll be great, Nick. We're going to do the special course naturally.
Eh? Eh? Eh?
That's a great idea. After all, Miss Nick, you'd do anything for Mystic Maya, wouldn't you? You walk on hot coals, right?
And try to cross burning bridges, that's for sure. And that is a fact.
Have a nice big meal before we come next time. Right, Nick?
You know, I was wondering if I can say just one little thing.
Sure! Of course I can. Oh, I know this part. I'm gonna wait to hear it.
Alright. Go on, Nick! Do your thing!
I'm getting goosebumps.
Well then, here goes nothing.
Objection!
I don't even have to work extra hard now. Master Kuray and the officer manager are riding cold horses. And I had to be a good big sister Pearly and Nick too. Now, as long as I'm not locked up or captured or something like that. So it's true. Mr. Nick really is Mystic Maya's knight in shining armor. He ran through the special course, and all the way to the end. Actually, I heard that there's a legendary extra special ultra course here too. I think I'll surprise the two of them by making them a secret reservation.
Maggie bought me a brand new coat as a present, pal. I felt 10 years younger. I'll never take it off.
Yes, but somehow you just don't seem the same. I guess a dirty shabby old coat is just more detective-like, sir.
Oh, don't worry about it. In the name of love, a man will soil himself silly.
Mr. Wright, I am once again in your debt. Thanks to you, the Treasures of Kurine exhibit was a great success. I even got to see Ms. Von Karma, who I hadn't seen for almost a year. She taught me how to use a whip, and said that I must show you what I've learned. Dizzy and I started a company called Mesty Mess Consulting. We're dedicated to stopping the evil plans of all the criminals in the city.
Our motto is, cut it out, please!
Pretty cute, huh? Well, we also sell plans to criminals as a kind of side business. I wonder if that's okay. Sometimes I think maybe we're the worst people. I wanted to show my appreciation to Mr. Wright for exterminating Don Tigre. So I lent him $500,000 and a tea set. A special thick tea, one I mixed with my own 2 hands. I bet he's drinking it now. Win through compromise.
I'm just old and in the way. A wrinkly, grumpy, clown-nosed waste of flesh. At least, that's what I thought. But my grandkids had a birthday party for me the other day. Talk about embarrassing. 69 years old and I cried like a baby with a dirty diaper.
As usual, we have an abundance of work to do. We've hired a new programmer to replace Glenn Elk. I do hope everyone will get along. His name is Adam Mata. As soon as I heard his name, I knew our brain circuits would align perfectly. My. More reporters? Since the murder, we've made so much money, I hardly know what to do. I think the magazines like us because I provide such a nice visual, especially in spring. I can hardly wait for ours to come back. You've turned into such a respectable man, Feeny. It was so sweet of you and everyone else to come and visit me here the other day. Of course, I was happy that you constantly had your eyes on me, but I felt kinda bad when the little one slapped you so hard he got a nosebleed.
Objection! Objection! Objection!
Objection!
Objection! Objection!
What's this? I'm back from a long and tiring vacation and no one here to greet me? I guess while I was gone, my little whippersnapper buddy quit and now I got no one. And what kind of lonely crazy security is this supposed to be anyway? What with all the flashing lights and switches? I feel like I'm some sort of space alien! And now what am I going to do with all these macadamia nuts I brought back for everyone? If I bring them over to Hedgiepoo,
I finally found something I love to do. Francie's Whippity Whip trip is gonna turn the art world on its head! I should have realized it sooner. Self-centered, lazy, antisocial. I'm an artist. A really good portrait artist. I'm not a loser after all. Oh.